Good afternoon from Jefferson High School Gymnasium. It's the 6AA quarterfinals, pitting the state's #2 ranked team, the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars, coming in at 20-0, taking on the Minnetonka Skippers, coming in at 9-12. I'm Shane Steinert, along with Tony Gear. We'll be bringing you all the action this afternoon from Jefferson Gymnasium. Well, Tony, coming into this game, Jaguars are 20-0. They're noted for their full court pressure. I was at the Minnetonka Cooper Region 6AA game Wednesday, and Cooper was able to pressure the Skippers in the back court. The Skippers in the game had 22 turnovers. You have to feel that Jefferson will come right out in the full court pressure.
Jefferson comes out in the full court pressure against everybody right away. Jefferson's going to have to apply it a little more attentively than they have in the past. This is a do-or-die situation for Jefferson. They have to win to continue.
Well, yes, the Jaguars are also 7-0 in postseason competition dating back to last year. The Jaguars have a 28-game winning streak on the line this afternoon. Their last loss was to St. Louis Park Orioles in the second to the last game of last season as the Jaguars take the court. Well, let's set those starting lineups for you. First, for the visiting Minnetonka Skippers, at the guards will be number 20, Chris Cohen, a 5'10" senior. At the other guard, number 24, Rich Mask, a 6'2", only a sophomore. At the forwards, number 45, Steve Van Buren, a 6'2" junior. At the other forward, George Harvey, a 6'4" senior. And at the center, Bart Like, a 6'6" senior. And the Minnetonka Skippers have also taken the court. Let's check those starting lineups for the Jaguars. At the guards, Chad Jurgens, he's been out with a sprained ankle, is back today, number 25, 5'11" senior. At the other guard, 6'5" swingman, if you will, Tom Batta. At the forwards, number 43, Kevin Lynch, a 6'5" senior. The other forward, Mike Shearer, a 6'4" senior. And Dan Nayrud, number 51, a 6'2" senior. Well, Tony, Nayrud's been used to playing big men all year long. He's had to play Rob Martin of Apple Valley, Phil Mann of Osseo, and Rob Phoenix of Rosemont. He's got another tough test today with the 6'6", Bart Lake.
He's been doing a good job on all the big men he's been covering. He plays excellent defense. I can't think of anything negative to say about him.
Yes, Nayrud does do a good job. He's overmatched in most of the games. The other player's always taller, but he's able to control him. Him and Shearer double team him in many cases. Well, the Minnetonka Skippers are coming off a 69-64 double overtime Region 6AA victory against Cooper Hawks on Wednesday. Chris Cohen paced the Skippers with 25 points. Minnetonka also had 22 turnovers against Cooper's trapping full court pressure. When I spoke to Coach Grimm, he said that's way too many turnovers, and Jefferson could turn out the lights early if they commit that many turnovers this afternoon.
Jefferson has a knack for turning out the lights for teams early when the teams are committing the turnovers. Jefferson will capitalize on the turnovers all the time.
And understand we're fortunate enough today to have one of the referees who's actually a National Football League referee, Jerry Seaman.
Jerry Seaman's in charge of the referee situation at all the state tournaments. We'll hopefully be able to talk to him for next game.
Cohen, a guard for Minnetonka. Batta, number 23 for the Jaguars. Number 24, only a sophomore, 6'2", Rich Mask. And Chad Jurgens, there he is. The quarterback of the Jaguars is back into the lineup.
Dale Forrester did a good job for Jurgens while Jurgens was out with his ankle. It'd be interesting to see how Jurgens handles himself.
That's George Harvey, a 6'4" senior, and Mike Shearer, a 6'4" senior forward for the Jaguars. At the other forward, number 45, Steve Van Buren, has a thigh bruise on his left leg. And there's Kevin Lynch, number 43, a 6'5" senior. And Brad Like, the transfer from Overland Park, Kansas, and Dan Nayrud for the Jaguars. Should be a good one this afternoon. The Minnetonka Skippers have won 3 straight, and as we mentioned, the Jaguars have won 28 in a row dating back to last year.
Jefferson's on a roll. It's going to be tough to stop them.
The winner of this game will play the winner of the St. Louis Park Kennedy game. Tony, you have any thoughts on that game? St. Louis Park coming in at 15-5.
Kennedy plays a tough defense. They displayed that defense when they just barely lost to Jefferson a couple weeks ago. St. Louis Park will have to hit from the outside to beat Kennedy.
In that Kennedy game, Dan Nayrud scored a last-second basket to defeat the Kennedy Eagles 41-39. We'd also like to congratulate the Bloomington Kennedy Eagles for making the State High School Hockey Championship title tilt this evening. They'll be playing the Burnsville Braves. All right, we're about ready to get underway with the first 8 minutes of action. George Harvey and Kevin Lynch will be jumping center for the respective teams. 6AA quarterfinals are underway. Lynch gets it for Juergens. And Minnetonka comes out in the 2-3 zone. Bada and Juergens play catch. Mass jumps out on him. Juergens in the lane. Bounce pass for Bada. Bada cross court for Lynch. Lynch over Harvey. That's long. And Light comes down with it for the Tonka Skippers.
Minnetonka came out in a matching zone where they're matching up with a man every time he comes into the position.
Mass feeds it in to Light. Turnaround for two. Art Light gets the first basket of the game. The Skippers lead 2-0.
They worked that ball inside real well that time.
Juergens into the front court, being watched by Cohen. For Bada. Far corner for Lynch, back to Bada. Lynch and Bada on the wings. Those are the zone busters for the Jaguars. Juergens top of the key. 7:03 to go here. First quarter action. Bada from about 17. Front rims that one. Lynch fights for the rebound. We're going to get a reach-in foul here on George Harvey.
Harvey tried to get position on the rebound, couldn't do it. Grabbed Lynch when he came down with the rebound.
That'll put Kevin Lynch at the line, shooting two. Lynch is averaging 15.4 points per game on the year for the Jefferson Jaguars. As you probably already know, Kevin Lynch has signed a letter of intent to go to the University of Minnesota, will be a swingman for the Gophers. And he nets the first one. The Jaguars are on the board.
Kevin's very intent and very happy on playing for the Gophers. He's looking forward to it.
When I interviewed him earlier in the season as he hits that one, he says he'd also get more playing time for a team that's rebuilding, and he likes that idea. Like bringing it up against Juergens. Dishes back for Van Buren for Cohen. Cohen being picked up in the backcourt by Juergens. Off for Harvey, far side. Harvey, and Cohen has it go between his legs. That's over and back.
Minnetonka lost control of the ball at the point.
Jaguars aren't coming out in that traditional 2-2-1 zone pressure. They're picking up more half-court or three-quarter court. Juergens for Bada, top of the key. In the lane, left corner for Shearer, back to Bada. For Juergens, far side. Juergens in the right corner for Lynch. Lynch, that rattles out. Like can't control, but Van Buren comes down with it for Cohen. Cohen just outside the center circle for Van Buren. Van Buren looking to Like. Shearer cuts that off for Mass, far near side. Has that knocked away by Lynch. It'll still be Minnetonka possession.
Jefferson's playing a decent zone right now. They're hoping to get their zone working so they don't have to apply their press right now.
Van Buren into Like. There's a jump ball by Juergens, but the possession arrow's pointing Tonka direction.
He turned into all kinds of pressure. Jefferson was right around that ball.
Van Buren inbounding right baseline. That's kicked out of bounds by Kevin Lynch. Van Buren for Cohen. Cohen for Mass. Mass from the free throw line, and he hits. Rich Mass hits 4-2, Tonka Skippers. Juergens up court for Bada, back out to Juergens. Bada now. They've moved Nayrud out of the pivot. Bada from the wing, and he drains it. Tom Bada with his first basket of the game. We're tied at 4. Here comes the full court pressure. 2-2-1. Oh, almost intercepted by Bada. Light brings it into the forecourt. The pivot man tried to get it for Mass. That was tipped away by Mike Shearer.
An interesting point to make with Kevin Lynch skied to block the inbounds pass. He stepped on the inbounds line. You cannot interfere with the inbounds pass across the line. That's a technical foul.
Van Buren for Mass has that knocked away by Juergens, retains possession for Van Buren, back for Cohen. Cohen has that knocked away by Juergens. Mass runs that down and he throws it away. As Shearer comes away with it for the Jaguars, leaves it for Lynch for Juergens.
Minnetonka's second turnover pretty early in the game yet.
Okay, Bata head fakes Mass, dishes for Juergens. Back to Bata far side. Juergens looking for the shot from the free throw line. He hits. It's 6-4 Jaguars. That's the first 2 points for Chad Juergens. 2-1-2 full court pressure, 2-2-1 full court pressure again. And Harvey with the errant pass for Nayrud. He front rims that one. Bata comes down with the rebound. Bata kicks it way back to Juergens. Full court pressure starting to get to the Tonka Skippers as the Cooper Hawks, they got back in the game Wednesday night with the full court pressure. They were down by 15 at one point in the game, sent the game into double overtime. Bata from the top of the key, won't go. Another offensive rebound by Lynch. Turnaround in the lane. Kevin Lynch, that's 4 points for Kevin Lynch. Harvey inbounds for Like. Like has that stolen by Bata. Bata dishes for Lynch. Lynch, jump hook in the lane, front rims it, tapped by Bata. Mass taps it, but finally Cohen comes away with it for the Tonka Skippers. Cohen gets the reach-in foul on Chad Juergens.
Minnetonka's having trouble with the pressure. Jefferson's converting on all the turnovers so far.
We saw some of the Jefferson Jaguars family at the game. We didn't see Coach Evans there. I'm sure they told Coach Evans that, hey, the Tonka Skippers have a little trouble with that full court pressure. Van Buren far side for Cohen for Mass. Mass near side. In the right corner for Van Buren. Bounce pass for Harvey. Off of Harvey. It'll be Jaguar basketball.
That's the 5th turnover for Minnetonka. 0 for Jefferson. Minnetonka's going to have to control the ball. Know where they're passing at all times.
Jaguars lead 8-4, 3:47 to go here. First quarter action. Bata for Juergens. Juergens for Lynch. Lynch the feed to Nayrud. Nayrud for 2. It's 10-4. Dan Nayrud. Here comes that full court pressure again. Into Like. Like, they have it. You got to attack it now. They got the numbers 3-on-2. But they almost throw it away. Van Buren saves. Van Buren, wild shot. Lynch skies for the rebound. There's a fight for it on the floor. We're going to get a jump ball between Like and Lynch. Possession arrows pointing Jaguar direction.
Minnetonka didn't control the ball. They didn't have any kind of knowledge as to where the ball was going to go. They were just throwing it around.
Well, as Coach Warren Bolin of Osseo says, the press makes you play an up-tempo style of game, and you just don't, you're out of kilter, and you're playing too fast, playing out of control, in other words. Bata for Juergens. Juergens in the lane for Bata. Bata took a look, cross court for Lynch, touch pass to Shearer, has that swatted away by Bart Like. Like had a lot of blocks in the Cooper Hawk game also.
Timing is the key to your blocks. You got to watch the ball and not the body.
Bata inbounding left baseline, Juergens for Bata for Lynch. Lynch front rims that, but Juergens controls it. Shearer tipped it out to him for Bata. Bata from 17, that won't go. But Lynch, another offensive rebound for 2. That's 6 points for Kevin Lynch. It's 12-4. Jaguars have opened up the 8-point lead. And Lynch, no look pass to Nayrud for 2. And I think Minnetonka's gonna want a timeout. Coach Grimm wants a timeout. There's a timeout on the floor with the score. The Jefferson Jaguars 14, the Minnetonka Skippers 4. Well, Tony, that full court pressure by the Jaguars is just turning Tonka. They don't know what to do with it.
Minnetonka's committed 7 turnovers. Jefferson's converted on 6 of them. Jefferson is gonna apply the pressure throughout the quarter at least to try and get a huge lead so they can relax a little bit on defense. Jefferson's hit 6 of 13 shots this quarter.
That's under 50%. That's pretty good for a high school team, but for Jefferson, the way they shoot, what's killing Tonka besides the full court pressure right now is those second shots. Lynch has a host of offensive rebounds. And just that feed to Nayrud, that just no look pass to Nayrud, just keyed Jefferson there.
Minnetonka had an early lead on the rebounds at 2-0, but Jefferson's come out to get the next 7 for a 7-2 lead in the rebounding area.
Well, leading scorer so far is Kevin Lynch with 6 points. Dan Nayrud's followed with 4. The only players to score for the Minnetonka Skippers were Bart Like with 2, and Rich Mast also has 2. They're going to try it again against the 2-2-1 full court pressure. Harvey inbounds for Like. Like gets the ball in the middle. He travels.
There's another turnover.
We've seen North play this year. How would you compare Jefferson's full court pressure to North? The way it looks today, Jaguars' full court pressure looks a lot more tenacious than the Polars' full court look.
Jefferson looks today like they did against Kennedy the first time they played Kennedy. And I think we stated that Jefferson looked like they could beat almost anybody at that time. And they're back to that same form right now.
And Lynch has that deflected by Harvey. Van Buren comes down with it for Cohen. Cohen into the front court. Cohen cross court for Mass, left corner dish to Like. Like has that swatted away by Lynch. Nehru comes down with leading the break to Lynch. Lynch behind the back for Bata. Bata off the glass, won't go. Like controls for the Jaguars. We're going to get a reach-in foul here on Kevin Lynch. Up-tempo basketball. We haven't seen that much up-tempo basketball in the Lake Red, but today we're sure getting a lot of it.
That might be the only way to beat Jefferson is to play an up-tempo game, get them tired so you can come back later in the game. But you can't get tired yourselves.
Well, it's working to the Jaguars' favor so far. Harvey inbounding near side for Like. Like the outlet for Cohen. Cohen 2-on-1. Cohen pulls up on Shearer, won't go. Harvey with the follow, that won't go. Van Buren rips that down, and he's fouled there by Mike Shearer. Third team foul on the Jaguars, the first on Mike Shearer.
Minnetonka is going to get back into the game with their second and third shots. Jefferson's going to have to do a better job on the defensive end rebounding. They haven't had a chance to show their defensive rebounding powers because they've been forcing Minnetonka into several turnovers.
That'll put 6'2" junior Steve Van Buren on the line. Oh, bad shot off the back iron. Is averaging 3.3 points per game for the Tonka Skippers. 1:45 to go. Jaguars lead by 10. He missed them both. And Nehru comes down with a rebound for Lynch for Juergens. Juergens far side for Bata. Bata from about 18 follows his shot. Bata in the lane for Lynch. Lynch hanging off the glass. Well, he got it. That's 8 points for Kevin Lynch.
There's Jefferson with their pressure again.
Harvey for Like for Van Buren. Tonka, if they work that against the pressure long enough, they might be able to work against it. Mass, that shot's long. Nehru comes down with another rebound.
Minnetonka's forcing their shots right now. They're going to have to relax and play their offense. They're trying to get back into the game too quickly.
16-4, Jaguars lead by 12, 56 seconds to go, first quarter. Lynch, the look to Shearer, off of Shearer's hand.
They've been trying to set up Lynch, having him float the baseline to either side, setting up a screen for him to shoot from the outside. We've seen him hit in the pass from that spot.
Substitution, Steve Dahling coming into the game for the Tonka Skippers. Van Buren brings the ball up far side for Dahling, can't handle it, leaves it for Cohen. Cohen jump pass for Van Buren in the lane. Van Buren over Bata, won't go. Mass battles for it, and we're gonna get Tonka possession.
We're going to get an over-the-back foul.
Yes, the one referee called Tonka possession, and Jerry Seaman ran in there and gave Mike Shearer his second foul of the game.
Rich Mass held his position. It's like getting a position for a rebound, so Jefferson couldn't knock the ball off Minnetonka.
Mass, top of the key, hanging in the air, won't go. Like just mistimed his jump, and Nehru with another defensive rebound for the Jaguars. Got to believe they'll play for the last shot. Forster's also checked into the game to give Juergens a rest. Maybe that ankle might be bothering him a little bit. Lynch far side. Back to Forster. For Lynch, back out for Forster. 16 seconds to go, first quarter. For Bata. For Forster, for Lynch.
Watch him try and set up there.
Forster from the free throw line, that bounds long. Nehru the offensive rebound. He was fouled there by Dolan. Steve Dolan's first foul of the game. That'll put Nehru at the line, shooting two.
Right now, Jefferson's just outplaying Minnetonka 2-1.
Minnetonka, they're getting killed on the offensive boards. The full court pressure is also hurting them. Nehru has 4 points so far on the afternoon. And that bounds long.
That's Jefferson's first miss at a free throw tonight.
And Nayrud nets the second one. It's 17-4, 13-point advantage. 2 seconds left in the quarter. Cohen had it knocked away, and the referee wants him to put some time on the clock. Nope, Jerry Siemens says
the time ran out.
Yep, that's right. That's the end of the first quarter of play from Jefferson High School. 6AA quarterfinals. The Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars 17. The Minnetonka Skippers 4. Checking first quarter stats, Kevin Lynch had 8 points for the Jaguars, followed by Dan Nayrud with 5. Tom Batta had 2, and Chad Jurgens also had 2 for the Jaguars. For the Minnetonka Skippers, Bart Like had 2, and Rich Mast also had 2. Tony, do we have field goal percentages for that first quarter?
Jefferson hit, there it is for you.
Well, there we have it.
Jefferson
17 for 21 from the...
How about 7 for
7
21?
for 21, yeah, 17 for 21. They'd be pretty happy about that in the first quarter. And for Minnetonka, only 2 for 9.
Jefferson hitting 33, Minnetonka hitting 22.
Well, like I alluded to earlier, Jefferson, they're pounding the offensive glass, and that's what's doing the job for the Jaguars, but in addition to that full court pressure.
The rebounding stat is not heavily favoring Jefferson at this time also, 13 to 5 at the quarter break.
And we also have
that's a free throw percentage you're looking at there. Minnetonka's 0 for 2 and Jefferson's 3 or 4 for 75%.
And Minnetonka will start the second 8 minutes with the ball. Cohen for Mast. Back to Cohen. Almost stolen, back to Mast, almost stolen by Lynch. Cohen can't hit. Like follows his the reach and foul on Mike Shearer. That's number 3 on Mike.
Minnetonka hasn't committed too many fouls. They've only committed 2 up to this point.
And for that first quarter, we had 7 Minnetonka turnovers and only 1 for the Jaguars. Bart Like will be at the line shooting for the Tonka Skippers. As we mentioned earlier, Like is a transfer from Overland Park, Kansas, made the all-star team of the Kentucky Blue Chip Camp. And that bounds long. Like is a 71% free throw shooter on the season.
Minnetonka, to get back into the game, is going to have to hit all their free throws. They've missed 5 up to this point.
17 to 5. Like hits the second one. He has 3 of the 5 Tonka points. Jurgens for Forrester.
There's Dale with his arm out again.
For Lynch. Lynch from, bad shot, but Batta with the hook and the rebound for 2. Another offensive rebound. That's 4 points for Tom Batta. It's 19 to 5. Jaguars, they're ready to defend their 6AA title. Cohen for Van Buren. That was knocked away by Jurgens. Jurgens on his back, gets it to Forrester. Forrester all the way in for 2. It's 21 to 5. They lead by 16. Van Buren bringing it into the front court. Van Buren for Like. Like, turnaround in the lane for 2. Bart Like.
Minnetonka's going to need more of that kind of a smart shot.
That's 5 points for Like. 21 to 7. Jaguars lead by 14. Jurgens for Forrester out high. For Nayrud. Back to Forrester. Forrester, free throw line won't go. Cohen comes down with the rebound for the Skippers. Cohen loses it to Forrester. Forrester for Lynch. Pulls it out now for Jurgens. Jurgens for Forrester. And Forrester hits that one. That's 4 points for Dale Forrester. It's 23-7. Jaguars lead by 16.
Coach Evans has got to be real happy with Jefferson offense at this time, only committing 1 turnover.
Like is double team there. We'll get a reach-in foul on Chad Jurgens. Substitutions coming in. Mike Jensen for the Jaguars replacing Tom Batta. And Mark Schultz will be replacing Steve Van Buren. Bart Like will be at the line shooting 1 and 1. And he nets the first one. That's 6 points for Bart Like on the afternoon. And Like hits them both. 7 points for Like. It's 23-9. They've cut the Jaguar lead to 14. Jaguars had it up to as much as 16 in this game. Juergens for Forrester. For Lynch, back to Forrester. 5:53 to go, first half. For Juergens. Juergens for Lynch in the left corner. Into Forrester. Forrester won't go, but the tip in by Dan Nayrud. That's 7 points for Nayrud. Those offensive rebounds are the death of the Tonka Skippers this afternoon. The look to Like, that was intercepted by Lynch. Lynch up court for Juergens. Juergens loses 2 Tonka players, dishes for Jensen. That won't go. Like comes in with the rebound. We've got over the back on Dan Nayrud.
Nayrud got a little too aggressive on the fast break rebound there.
That'll put Like at the line shooting 1-1. Like has 7 points in the game. Right, could have his 18-point average, but Chris Cohen, he's got to get on track for the Tonka Skippers. Averaging 14.8 points per game and hasn't scored. And Like misses the front end of the 1-1. The follow by Mask won't go. It's volleyballed around. Juergens comes away with it. Juergens decides to pull it up as Tonka got back on defense. Lynch drives baseline, dishes for Jensen, can't handle the pass, but Nayrud comes away with it. Nayrud for Forrester. Forrester, he can't hit that one, and Schultz comes down with the rebound for the Skippers. Schultz for Mask. Mask, only a sophomore, dishes for Like off the glass for 2. Bart Like, that's 9 points for Bart Like. It's 25-11. Jaguars lead by 14.
That's only the 4th field goal by Minnetonka today.
Juergens. In the lane for Nayrud. Nayrud, Like jumps out on him, loses the ball to Cohen. Cohen bringing it up far side. Cohen over Forrester. Won't go, and we're going to get a foul underneath on Rich Mask.
Rich Mask did a little pushing as he tried to get in for the rebound position. Just push his man off to the side so he could have that spot.
Bada checks back in, replacing Dan Nayrud. Nayrud getting a deserved rest here, doing an excellent job on the offensive boards. We have rebound totals for Nayrud. 5 rebounds for the 6'2" senior. Forrester for Juergens. 4:20 to go. Jaguars lead by 14. For Bada. Bada from about 12. Front rims that one, and Schultz comes away with it. Jaguars not shooting well, but their offensive rebounding is the key so far. Dishes for Mask, for Cohen, top of the key, and he hits. Cohen's on the board. It's 25-13.
Minnetonka's getting back into this game slowly but surely if they keep up their running their offense and controlling the defense.
Juergens, the look to Bada, kicks it back to Forrester. Juergens free throw line for Forrester. Back to Juergens. Juergens free throw line, front rims that one, follows his shot. We'll get a jump ball. It'll be Jefferson possession though.
The only reason that was called jump ball is because both players are flying into each other and had their hands on the ball. Neither player established any sort of position, and there was contact made.
Lynch inbounding in front of his own bench for Juergens. 3:44 to go, 25-13. Forrester from 17. Jensen bats at it, but Schultz comes down with it for the Skippers. For Cohen, far side for Mask. Mask, that rolls out. Jensen loses it. 2 Jefferson players battle for it, but Juergens comes away with the steal. He throws it away to Mask of Minnetonka. Mask for Like. Like, Forrester jumps out on him for Cohen. Back to Schultz. Schultz, left side of the key for 2. Mark Schultz, they've cut it to 11, well, to 10.
If Jefferson doesn't score on this trip, Minnetonka goes down to score. Coach Evans will probably want to call a timeout because Minnetonka's trying to take some sort of momentum advantage for him now.
Lynch, right baseline, won't go. There's another offensive rebound by Bada with the finger roll for 2. That's 6 points for Tom Bada. 27-15, Jaguars lead by 12.
Jefferson's a little out of character right now. They're not hitting their outside shots. They normally hit 50% from that spot.
And Mask has it bounce off of Lynch. Dan Nayrud back into the game for Mike Jensen. Steve Dolan will be inbounding right baseline. 2:45 to go. Jaguars lead by 12. Cohen, far corner. Cohen, cross court for Schultz. He fumbles that away, and we're going to get a foul on Schultz.
Dale established his position on top of the ball, and Dale reached in, or Schultz reached in on it. Jefferson has eight fouls to Minnetonka's 4. That's helped Minnetonka stay in the game with their free throws. Minnetonka hasn't hit all their free throws, but it's helped them stay in the game.
And Cohen picks the pocket of Forrester. We're going to get the reach in on Dale Forrester. Dale's first foul of the game. That'll put Cohen at the line shooting 1 and 1. He converts these. They could cut it to 10. Joel Daniels checking in for the Jaguars. Well, Tony, I'd have to say the cold shooting of the Jaguars has also helped keep the Skippers in the game. First quarter, they were only averaging 33% from the field.
They got to be hitting right around that area for the game so far, too. They haven't improved their percentage any.
Cohen nets the first one. That's 3 points for him. Skippers got to get him on track. He's averaging almost 15 points per game. 5'10" senior. His high game is 32 points against the Cooper Hawks in the regular season. Had 25 against the Hawks last Wednesday night. He rattles that in. That's 4. They've cut it to 10. 27-17. Juergens bringing it up for the Jaguars.
In this quarter, Minnetonka's hit 5 of 7 of their free throws, which is a better shooting percentage on the free throw end.
Juergens for Daniels, top of the key. Won't go. Lynch fights for the rebound, has it go between his legs. Juergens cleans up. Juergens, bounce pass for Bata, all alone for 2. Tom Bata, that's 8 points for Bata. It's 29-17, 2 minutes to go. Jaguars lead by 12. Mask near side, back for Cohen. For Schultz. Back to Cohen for Mask. Cohen and Mask play catch. The look to Dahlin, that was cut off by Nayrud. Cohen working against Daniels. Cross court for Schultz. In the corner for Mask. Mask for Dahlin. Dahlin, wild shot. Cohen runs down the offensive rebound. That hits nothing but air, and Bata comes away with it for the Jaguars. Juergens, cross court for Lynch. Lynch, open 20-footer, front rims that one. Schultz with the follow. We'll have to check. It could be a push-off here on Mark Schultz.
He pushed off to get the rebound. He saw it was going long, and he pushed off to get some sort of a starting point on it.
George Harvey checking back in for the Skippers, replacing Steve Dahlin. That'll put Tom Bata at the line shooting 1 and 1 as both teams are in the penalty. Bata has 8 points so far in the afternoon, averaging 14 points per 2 during the regular season. He nets that one. It's 30-17, 13-point Jaguar advantage. 9 points for Bata. And he nets them both. That's 10 points for Bata, the first Jaguar in double figures. And Kevin Lynch will be checking out for the Jaguars, giving him a rest here with 1:17 to go. Todd Doncavage checking in for the Jaguars. Cohen brings it up far side for Mass. Back to Cohen. Cohen in the lane for Like. Already has 9 points. Turnaround. And, can't get a decision on that one. It rolls out. Bata fights for the rebound. Bata bringing it up. Minute to go. 31-17. Jaguars lead by 14. Skippers had it cut to 27-17. Jaguars have come back to juice it up to 14. Daniels, top of the key, front rims that one. Light can't handle the rebound. Nayrud, another front rimmer, and Mass tried to run that down, and will get over and back on the Jaguars.
They didn't step over and back, but they touched the ball after it had touched the other side of the floor. That half-court line is just like out of bounds right now.
Cohen will be inbounding right in front of our broadcast location for Mask. 38 seconds to go. Cohen into Like for Mass, free throw line. Another wild shot. Doncavage comes down with the rebound. Doncavage for Juergens. Juergens loses Cohen. Bounce pass for Bata. You have to be able to play for the last shot unless they get an easy one. Bata back out for Juergens. Looking at that clock. Back to Bata. Far corner for Nayrud. For Bata. For Juergens. Juergens back to Bata. 6 seconds left. They got to go here. Daniels. Daniels for Juergens. And that's the end of the first half of play with the score. The Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars lead this 6AA quarterfinal 31-17 over the Minnetonka Skippers. You're watching Jefferson basketball on BEC channel 17D. at Jefferson High School Gymnasium 6AA quarterfinal action. The Jaguars hold the 31-17 first half lead. Checking the scoring, leading scorer for the Jaguars is Tom Batta with 10 points. He's followed by Kevin Lynch with 8, Dan Nayrud has 7, Dale Forrester has 4, and Chad Jurgens has 2. Foul difficulty for the Jaguars, Mike Shear has 3, and Chad Jurgens has 2. For the Minnetonka Skippers, Bart Like has 9 points to lead the Skippers. Chris Cohen has 4, Rich Mast has 2, Mark Schultz also has 2. Only man in foul difficulty for the Skippers is Mark Schultz with 2. Well, Tony, we have those offensive rebounding statistics. You have to believe that Jefferson is way ahead in those.
Yeah, as we look at it, Jefferson's got about 19 offensive rebounds to Minnetonka 6. Overall in the rebound area, Jefferson's got 26 rebounds to Minnetonka 17. Minnetonka's hitting the defensive boards fine, but their offensive boards are lacking.
Tonka had it down to 27-17 there late in the second quarter, but the Jaguars ran off 4 straight to make it a 31-17 third score. We're ready with third quarter action. Mast and Cohen play catch. For Harvey in the lane. Harvey front rims that one. Mast gets the rebound though. Mast, little finger roll won't go. Tapped around. That was off of Dan Nayrud. It'll be Minnetonka possession. Van Buren will be inbounding left baseline for Cohen. He has that stolen by Shear. Shear bounce past to Batta. Mast knocks it off Batta. It should be Tonka ball.
Minnetonka's running their offense a little bit better. They're being patient. They're not rushing it.
14-point lead by the Jaguars isn't insurmountable. Cohen far side for Mask in the lane for Like. Like powers. Oh, his finger roll was off the side of the backboard, and Shear comes down with the rebound.
Minnetonka got off a bad shot that time. They had the right idea, just the bad shot.
Jurgens being watched by Mask. Near side for Batta. Back out top of the key, Lynch. Lynch drives all the way in, left hand for 2. Kevin Lynch, that's 10 points for Lynch. Here comes the full court pressure.
Minnetonka's playing that zone. They're not doing a good job if a man drives the middle with it.
Cohen is trapped there by Lynch. He was forced out by Lynch, but it'll be Jefferson basketball turnover on Chris Cohen. Batta inbounding near side for Jurgens. 6:54 to go. Jaguars lead by 16. Jurgens for Lynch. Lynch into Nayrud, loses Van Buren, won't go. Harvey had the rebound and loses control.
Jefferson's trying to work the ball in during the second half here to cut down on their field goal.
Jurgens into Nayrud. Nayrud had that block by Like, following Like, skies for the rebound. Like for Van Buren. Like has got to get more active on those defensive boards. Like has that strip by Lynch. Lynch leading the break for Batta. Batta pulls it back out now for Jurgens. Jurgens for Batta, far side. Head fakes on Van Buren, dishes back out for Lynch. For Shear. Back for Jurgens.
Minnetonka's gone into a man defense.
Turn around on Batta. That won't go. The tap by Shear, that won't go. And we're going to get a foul here on Dan Nayrud over the back of Bart Like.
He went for the ball, which is a good idea, but Like had position on it, and Shear ended up reaching over his back.
2-2-1 full court pressure being deployed by the Jaguars as Like is bringing it up against Lynch. For Van Buren, for Mass, left baseline, and he buries it 33-19. That's 4 points for the sophomore, Rich Mass.
In the first half, both teams had a fairly even field goal percentage. Jefferson 32, Minnetonka 30, but Jefferson took decisively more shots, 41. Minnetonka only took 20.
Jurgens for Batta for Lynch, back to Jurgens. Right corner Lynch, they leave him alone. Harvey jumps out on him late. Another offensive rebound by Shear, won't go. Like knocks that out of bounds. And Steve Dahlin will be checking back in for the Skippers, replacing Steve Van Buren.
We commented in the first half that Jefferson isn't hitting their outside shot like they have in the past. It shows in their field goal percentage also.
Okay, Batta inbounds way out for Jurgens, back to Batta.
I've just been handed a note And we'd like to congratulate the Jefferson 6th grade traveling squad for winning the Washburn tournament
Bata hits that one.
this past weekend.
That's 12 points for Tom Bata. It's 35-19. That 16-point lead is back. Dahlin fumbles it away. Bata for Lynch. I don't think Lynch was expecting the pass.
Lynch was ready to go for the tip, offensive tip.
Harvey for Like. They get it into the middle to Like. That's the way they break that full court pressure for Mass. Mass to Like. Like can't get the ball to drop. Dahlin off the glass for two.
Now Minnetonka's getting those second shots, and Jefferson's not controlling the defensive board. Minnetonka's getting some offensive rebounds now.
Dahlin's first basket of the game, 14-point Jaguar lead. Juergens for Nairud. That was slapped away by George Harvey. Looks like Tonka's getting a little more aggressive here in the second half, knowing that this could be their final 16 minutes of basketball for 1986-87. Juergens' inbounds pass was stolen by Mask. Mask has Cohen with him. Cohen was hammered there by Tom Bata. Bata did the sportsman-like play and catch Cohen before he hit the ground.
Cohen was more worried about the man running into him than he was making the basket. When your season's on the line, you're down by 14, you got to concentrate on the basket. If you get hit, you get hit. And it's a three-point play.
Cohen's 2 for 2 from the line so far this afternoon. 4:42 to go, third quarter action here from Jefferson Gymnasium. And Cohen missed the first one. And he nets the second one. That's 5 points for Cohen. They've cut the lead to 13. They had it down to 10 points. Juergens bringing it up for the Jaguars. Juergens for Shearer in the lane. Shearer against a host of Minnetonka players and loses the ball out of bounds, but they say it deflected off a Tonka player.
Shearer put up a head fake, thought that all the Minnetonka players are going to go in the air and tried to go in between them. Minnetonka stayed on the ground.
Bata for Juergens, right corner Bata. Bounce pass for Nehru, got Like in the air. Basket won't go, but we'll get the foul here on Bart Like. That'll put Dan Nairud at the line, shooting two. Nairud has 7 points so far on the afternoon.
One of the problems for Minnetonka, and we keep saying this time and time again, is the free throws. Minnetonka's missing, Jefferson's hitting.
That's 8 points for Nairud, 6'2" senior, Jefferson Jaguar. Nairud nets them both. That's 9 points for Nairud. And the Jaguars drop back with a 15-point lead. Cohen brings it up for the Tonka Skippers. For Mask. Back to Cohen. Cohen swings it around on the far side now. Cohen for Like. Like tried to get it into Harvey. That was tipped away by Lynch. Cohen follows, front rims that one. Ball was batted in the front court for Nairud. Nairud has that strip by Like. We'll get the reach-in foul on Bart Like.
Nairud was looking to go in to slam it, get some sort of extra momentum going for Jefferson.
That's Bart Like's second foul of the afternoon. Mark Schultz will be checking. No, it's not Mark Schultz. We'll have to check who that is. Chris Cohen will be sitting down for the Minnetonka Skippers. And John Brownfield checking in for the Skippers as Nairud hits the first one. That's 10 points for Dan Nairud. He's 4 for 5 from the line this afternoon. And that second one rolls out. Light comes down with the rebound. 38-32 Jaguars, 38-22 Jaguars lead by 16. Brownfield into the game for the first time, brings it up for Mass. Mass pass off Harvey. That was swatted away. Brownfield runs it down for Minnetonka, having a little trouble handling that ball. For Mask, almost stolen by Bata. Bounce pass for Like. We're going to get a foul here on Kevin Lynch. That's number 2 on Kevin Lynch.
Kevin did a smart thing by coming up behind, trying to knock the ball loose. He just got caught for reaching in.
No wonder Brownfield looks a little hesitant against the number 2 team in the state. He's only a freshman. Dahlin way out high for Mast. Mast tried to look into Like. That was intercepted, and we'll get the reach-in foul on John Brownfield. Maybe not a bad foul there. At least he stopped the fast break.
Stopping the fast break is your number 1 priority, but you don't want to make it an obvious foul. Minnetonka coach must have a lot of confidence in this Brownman to put him in at this point of the game.
Lynch from the left wing, and he hits Kevin Lynch. That's 12 points for Lynch. Jaguars lead by 18. Mast hurries it in the front court for Like. Like missed the dunk. He was hanging on the rim, too. They could have called it, but two Jefferson players, Shearer and Bata, fight for it, and it'll be Tonka possession.
The one reason they didn't call it technical foul is because there was somebody underneath him. He was hanging on to protect himself. He wasn't hanging on for any other reason.
Dolan for Mast. Mast. Front rims that one. Harvey with the putback. That won't go, and Shearer comes down with the rebound.
Minnetonka's getting some good shots. They're just not putting them in. Their shot selection is key.
Lynch front rims that one. Nehruth skies for the rebound, and we'll get a foul on Dolan.
Dolan was reaching in for the ball after the rebound was taken out.
That's number 2 on Dolan. Another offensive rebound by the Jefferson Jaguars.
You're going to see Kevin shoot a lot more to the outside now that he's made 1 or 2 in a row here.
This is BEC Channel 17, Bloomington, Minnesota. Juergens inbounding right baseline. In for Bata, kicks it back out for Lynch. For Juergens near side. Brownfield jumping out on him. For Bata, back to Juergens. Juergens in the lane for Lynch. Lynch give and go with Nehru. That won't work. That was stolen by Harvey. Cohen brings it up for Minnetonka for Brownfield. And we'll get a reach-in foul on Chad Juergens. That's number 3 on Juergens.
That's one of those things that could have gone either way. The Minnetonka player had his arm out to protect himself. He didn't move the arm. That's why he wasn't called for the offensive foul.
Cohen will be inbounding near sideline for Brownfield. Brownfield, his pass was stolen by Lynch. Lynch pushing it up into the front court. Lynch over Like for 2. Kevin Lynch, that's 14 points for Lynch, 6 in the quarter. Brownfield bringing it up against the 2-2-1 zone pressure for Like. Like for Cohen. Cohen drives baseline with the left hand, throws up the air ball. Bata controls for Jefferson. 2:07 to go here. Third quarter action. Jaguars lead by 20.
Look for Minnetonka to call a timeout if Jefferson scores here. Minnetonka's getting out of their game. They're going to have to relax and settle down.
Lynch, bounce pass for Nehru. We'll get another foul on Steve Dolan with the body.
There's still time for Minnetonka to get into this game.
That's number 3 on Dolan. Steve Van Buren will be checking back in for Dolan. That'll put Nehru at the line shooting for the Jaguars.
The one thing that's going to hurt Jefferson or Minnetonka is the same thing that's going to help them. Both teams are in the bonus situation at this time.
Nehru nets the first one. That's 11 points for Dan Nehru. (43-22). Jaguars lead by 21. And front rim, back rim, he gets that one to drop. That's 12 points for Nehru. Nehru's 6 of 8 of the line this afternoon. Brownfield brings it in the front court for Cohen. Back to Brownfield. For Cohen, for Like. Like dishes for Harvey, right baseline, and he hits George Harvey. That's his first basket of the game. They've cut that lead to 20. Juergens, far side for Bata. Bata from 17, and he hits Tom Bata. That's 14 points for Bata. And Coach Grimm wants a timeout. There's a timeout on the floor with the score. The Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars 46, the Minnetonka Skippers 24. You have to believe if we talk to Coach Evans after the game, we'll have to ask him about that. He has to be pleased with his offensive rebounding. The shot percentage really hasn't been there, but the offensive rebounding has.
When your shot percentage is up, you got to hope that you're getting the offensive rebounds, and Jefferson's doing that part of it well. If I was Coach Evans, the only thing I'd be disappointed about is the continuation of Jefferson taking those outside shots, not trying to work it inside. Minnetonka is working the ball inside, but getting the ball slapped where getting off a high percentage shot with somebody with a hand in the face, which cuts down your percentage of making it.
Jefferson has 18 offensive rebounds for the game. I know, Tony, you do some coaching, and that's a pretty impressive stat.
Most teams, they're happy to get 9 or 10 offensive rebounds in a game. When you got 18 and you're shooting the percentage like you are, it's just unrealistic, the percentage that Jefferson's shooting right now. It's uncharacteristic of them. The offensive rebounds is also, but they're getting position, they're playing a good position game on the boards.
Mike Jensen will be checking in for Kevin Lynch. Kevin Lynch checks out with 14 points here, 6 in the quarter. Brownfield inbounds for Cohen, gives it back to Brownfield. 1:14 to go, Jaguars lead by 22. Van Buren, far side for Brownfield, near side for Cohen. Left baseline, Harvey over Jensen for 2. George Harvey, that's 4 points for Harvey, 4 in the quarter. Now the Tonka Skippers are coming out in 2-2-1 zone pressure. Bata for Jensen. Jaguars know how to attack the pressure. Bata, the look for Jensen. That's 2 points for Mike Jensen. It's 48-26. Jaguars lead by 22. Cohen for Brownfield. A wild pass, but Cohen saves. Cohen drives baseline. That was swatted away by Nehrud. Shearer pushing it up the court with Bata. Bounce pass to Bata. No look pass for Jensen for 2. It's 50-26. Jaguars lead by 24. That's 4 for Mike Jensen.
We're seeing something out of Jefferson right now that we haven't seen all game or recently. They're running the fast break to almost perfection.
They're showing they can do a little NBA-style ball, too, with that no-look bounce pass by Tom Bata to Mike Jensen. That'll put Bart Leck at the line shooting 2. The foul was on Mike Shearer.
Game's getting a little fast, so it'll be hard to control your body, and that's why we're going to see a lot of fouls at this
21
point.
seconds to go in the quarter. Jaguars lead by 24. Likes at the line shooting 1-1. And he front rims that one. Batted away by Harvey. Jensen has it go between his legs, but Nehrud cleans up for Shearer. Leaves it for Forster. They'll probably play for the last shot. Shearer back to Forster. Forster takes a look at the clock. Back for Shearer near side. Has that tipped away by Harvey. Harvey for Cohen. 3 seconds left. 2 seconds. Cohen doesn't get a shot off. That's the end of the third quarter of play with the score. The Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars 50. The Minnetonka Skippers 26. You're watching Jefferson boys basketball on BEC Channel 17. Well, checking those high point men in the game, Tom Bata has 14 for the Jaguars. Kevin Lynch also has 14. Nehrud has 12 for the Jaguars. High point man for the Minnetonka Skippers is Bart Leck with 9. He didn't score any points that quarter. To me, the surprising factor in the game is Chris Cohen. He's only scored 5 points in the game. That's 10 points under his season average. Well, after this game, we've got another good one on BEC this afternoon. It'll be the Kennedy Eagles taking on the St. Louis Park Orioles. The winner of that game will play the Jefferson. If Jefferson holds on to this 24-point lead, they'll play the Jefferson Jaguars Tuesday night at the Augsburg Arena.
We've both seen many teams play, and it's unbelievable that a team can score so many points. They can double their point production in the fourth quarter when they know their lives are on the line.
Well, that factor actually happened at Cooper Minnetonka. Cooper scored 25 points in the fourth quarter. They were down by 15 in the game. Forster for Bata. Bata won't go. Harvey bats at the rebound. Leck runs that down.
Minnetonka's gone to a man-to-man defense.
Leck has that swatted away by Bata. Looks like we're going to get a foul either on, yes it is, on Tom Bata with the push.
Minnetonka's gone to a man-to-man defense and hopes to increase Jefferson's number of turnovers.
That's 2 on Bata. Leck will be at the line again, shooting 2 shots. Leck has 9 for the game. And Leck can't hit that one. He's a 71% free throw shooter. He's having trouble this afternoon, though. And he gets that one to drop. It's 50-27, 23-point Jaguar advantage. Full court pressure being deployed by the Skippers. We're going to get traveling on Mike Shearer as Leck almost tipped the ball away, then Shearer walked with the ball.
There's Minnetonka using their man-to-man defense to hopefully increase Jefferson's turnovers like we were talking about before. It's starting to work. Maybe Minnetonka can climb back into the game with it.
We've got 20 turnovers for the game by the Tonka Skippers. Cohen in the lane for Like. Like's the man who's got to do it, won't go. Harvey off the glass for two. We're going to get a touch foul here, I believe, on Kevin Lynch.
Minnetonka has a chance to pull within 20. That may not seem like much, but when you were down by 20.
They called the foul on Jensen.
When you were down by 24, it is an awful lot.
That'll put Harvey at the line shooting two. One shot, rather. And that won't go. They're still having trouble at the line. Lynch skies for the rebound.
We commented earlier, Minnetonka's going to have to hit the free throws to get back into this game. They're just not hitting them.
Forster into the front court for Lynch. Lynch for Shearer. Shearer over Harvey for two. Mike Shearer. That's 2 points for Shearer. His first basket of the game. Cohen bringing it up. 7:05 to go. 52-29. Mass pass intercepted, but Like runs that down for two. Bart Like scoring. That's 12 points for Like. Lynch hurries it into the front court for Juergens. Juergens being watched by Schultz. Juergens far side for Forrester. For Jensen. Jensen tried to dish it to Lynch, gets it back. We're going to get traveling on Mike Lynch, or rather on Mike Jensen. And Coach Ed Grimm wants a timeout here. There's a timeout on the floor with the score. The Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars 52, the Minnetonka Skippers 31.
What Mr. Grimm is saying out there is Jefferson's reacting to their man-to-man pressure in a very positive way as far as Minnetonka is concerned. They're not controlling the ball as well as they used to. They've seen a zone the whole game. You come out in a man-to-man, change your defense. It seems to be rattling Jefferson just a little bit. Not enough for Minnetonka to come back right away right now, but it'll be a chance for them to come back in.
Okay, checking those free throw percentages we were talking about. Jaguars are 10 for 12 from the line, and Minnetonka 6 for 12 from the line. In their Cooper Region 6 AA game, Minnetonka was shooting 55%, so they've been having some trouble in these region ball games. For the game, we've got Jefferson 20 for 57, 57 shots already for the Jaguars due to their offensive rebounding, and the Minnetonka Skippers are only 10 for 34 from the field. Okay, that was Tonka Skippers will be inbounding right baseline. Harvey gets it in for Cohen. For Mast. Mast being watched by Juergens. Back to Cohen. Back to Mast. Cohen's going to have to get on track here. Only has 5 points. For Schultz, near side. Schultz over Jensen. Rattles out. Mast couldn't control the rebound, and Jensen comes down with 6:15 to go. Jaguars lead by 21 points.
With Jefferson's 2-3 zone, that was a good shot for Minnetonka to take because they took a lot of time to try and set it. You still want to try and work that ball inside as much as possible, though.
Juergens top of the key, and he nets it. Chad Juergens. That's 4 points for Juergens. Mass brings it up for Cohen. Far side now for Schultz. Back to Cohen. In the lane for Like. Like over Lynch. That one's long, and Jensen comes out with the rebound. Jensen's got that wide body. He does a good job of blocking out on the defensive boards.
Like is doing something that most coaches don't like to see. He's trying to take the game into his own hands.
Like overplays Jensen, knocks it out of bounds.
It's all right to be a dominating player, but you can't take the whole game into your own hands. You got 4 teammates out there with you. You got to let them play with you.
Juergens inbounding right baseline. Juergens for Jensen. Jensen's jump hook was slapped away by Dahlin. Mass tried to bounce it off a Minnetonka skipper, but Light comes away. Behind the back dribble for Cohen. Give and go with Cohen. Cohen, but we'll get a foul here on Mike Jensen.
Like made the attempt to show that he had teammates on the floor, but he still looked like he was trying to take it into his own hands.
Like will be at the line again, shooting 2. Has 12 points so far in the afternoon. And he nets the first one. That's 13 for Light.
Tom Batta's coming back into the game.
And Mike Shear checks out with his 4 fouls. 5:18 to go. Jaguars lead by 22 points. And that second one rattles out, and Kevin Lynch puts the clamps on that one. Leaves it for Forrester. Forrester across the timeline for Bada. Bada looking for Lynch, cross court, back out for Forrester. Jensen jumps out now. Back to Forrester, being watched by Mast. For Lynch. Lynch turn around over Cohen for 2. Kevin Lynch, that's 16 points for Kevin Lynch, right at his average. Cohen, far side for Mast, almost tipped away by Kevin Lynch.
Jefferson's doing an excellent job on the defensive end. They're playing the passing lanes. They're not allowing the ball to get inside very much.
Jefferson also looks far more aggressive than we've seen them in the regular season.
It's region time, not the regular season.
Cohen for Like. Like is fumbling the ball all over the place.
They'll say Like was on the line with the ball.
And Juergens will inbound for the Jaguars. Man-to-man full court pressure being deployed by the Minnetonka Skippers. Forrester for Bada.
Referee missed a walk there by Bada.
Bada for Lynch, flies right in, and Lynch stutter steps before he makes his flying hook shot in the lane.
They missed the first walk at the half court mark by Tom Bada, and then they got the traveling by Kevin Lynch. Minnetonka didn't get a break and then got a break. They have to convert on the breaks.
Cohen for Like. Left corner now, Schultz, and he stutter steps.
We were talking in one of the earlier games that you got to have your strong foot moving. You can't, your weak foot's your pivot foot, so you can push off with your strong foot.
You almost have to believe that Coach Jack Evans was maybe holding his Jaguars a little back so other teams couldn't see how good they really are. Juergens for Jensen, the look for Bada, runs it down.
It's no secret how good Jefferson is. They're an excellent basketball team.
Bada for Juergens, back to Bada, back door for 2, Tom Bada.
Jefferson is patient on their offense, they're patient on their defense, they're aggressive on the defense, they box out well.
That's 16 for Bada.
They're covering the passing lanes. Jefferson does everything real well.
Cohen looking to Like, that was tipped away by Bada. Up court for Juergens. Juergens was looking to dish to Lynch, but he decided better of it, and Jensen travels with the ball.
Jefferson doesn't do everything excellent, they just do everything well. And that's what makes an excellent team.
Well, Jefferson's running more today, and some of those traveling violations could be due to the fact they're just not used to, they haven't run that much this year. As Todd Donkavich checks in for Kevin Lynch, he checks out with 16 points. Schultz for Dahlin. Dahlin, he's fouled there by Mike Jensen.
Jefferson will find if they get to the state tournament and meet one of the 5AA representatives other than Osseo, they're going to have to run. North is a very good running team. Southwest is a running team. Park Center will run with you.
I've had a look at those brackets. I believe that the Jaguars will play 3AA. That would be Woodbury, St. Paul Central, Highland Park, one of those teams.
St. Paul Central and Highland Park are also running teams.
And Joel Daniels will be checking in, replacing Chad Juergens. 3:21 to go. Jaguars lead 58-32, the commanding 26-point lead.
You got to remember Woodbury's undefeated, and you know that you don't go undefeated without being able to run the basketball as well as control it.
Well, Dale Scheffler, he always has a good ball club, as Minnetonka misses them both. Dahlin couldn't convert. Daniels into the front court for Bada. Bada, the look to Donkavich, has that swatted away by Schultz. We'll get the foul on Schultz. 3 on Mark Schultz.
Minnetonka's using a 2-1-1-2 of sorts on their pressure defense. Jefferson's countering with a 2-1-2, leaving the corners open, bringing the ball up the side or in the middle, and then collapsing on the basket with all 3 players.
Peter Kelly checking in for the Skippers, replacing Steve Dahlin.
What that does for you on the offensive end is create a 3-on-2 situation with everyone going towards the basket, either with the shot or getting the rebound.
And Donkavich can't convert the first one. Another substitution, getting his instructions from Coach Evans. Dave Larson will be checking in. That one rolls out, Light comes down with it for Schultz. Schultz hurrying the ball into the front court. 3:05 to go. There's a reach in. Oh, he turned the ball over, palmed the ball.
Carried the ball over, put his hand underneath the ball when he brought it to the other side. Coach Evans starting to bring in his subs, knowing that the game is well in hand.
Dave Larson replacing Tom Batta. Batta also checks out with 16 points.
Minnetonka's going to bring in their subs, more than likely their seniors to start with, and keep the seniors on the floor for a while, this being their last game.
Dave Mosley checking in for the Tonka Skippers. Forrester will be bringing it up against Cohen. Forrester for Daniels. Daniels being watched by Mosley for Jensen near side. Back to Daniels, far corner.
Jefferson's going into their delay game, nothing but layups at this point.
Daniels for Jensen. Back to Daniels for Forrester. Might not be a bad idea to get these subs some playing time here. You never know when you might need them. A guy gets in foul trouble. Don Cabbage throws it away, had that knocked out of bounds by Chris Cohen.
That's exactly what you got to be thinking right now with a 26-point lead and only 2.5 minutes to go in the game. You want your subs to get some sort of experience in region play against a tough defense that Minnetonka is applying.
Mark Hagan also checks in for the Tonka Skippers. Daniels is trapped at half court, gets it for Jensen. Jensen pulls it back out for Forster, 2:23 to go. Jensen kicks it out for Daniels for Don Cabbage, over Kelly for two. Don Cabbage.
There's the uncontested shot that Jefferson's going to look for, and that's the only shot they're going to take the rest of the game.
That's 60 points for the Jaguars. They lead by 28. Hagan, far side for Cohen, top of the key. He's been quiet all afternoon. Can't get that one to go. Jensen bodies his way for that one. Mike Jensen, a force on the defensive boards, leaves it for Daniels. Daniels cruising down the far side. Daniels, he's trapped there, gets it out for Forster. Forster for Daniels for Don Cabbage, left baseline, and he hits again. That's 4 for Don Cabbage. They've doubled the Minnetonka Skipper score. It's 62-32. Mosley for Like. Like turnaround, that hit the side of the backboard, and Forrester comes down with the rebound for Daniels. 1:23 to go.
The Minnetonka fans should give Like a real big hand when it comes
And
out.
that's Don Cabbage's spot. That's 6 points for Don Cabbage. In the shoot around, he must love that spot. And Coach Ed Grimm takes his last timeout.
He took the last time out to give a chance for the subs to go in. Like will come out of the game, as will one of the other seniors that have been playing quite a bit.
In the second quarter, the Jaguars' lead was cut to 27-17, but then after that, they were never headed.
Minnetonka got back into it with a patient offense, and they were shooting higher percentage shots, working the ball in, bringing it out both ways.
I think the stopping of Chris Cohen also had something to do with it. Cohen only scored 5 points in the game, 10 points under his season average. And Like missing some free throws. Of course, the key factor, I believe, is Jefferson pounding the offensive glass.
Jefferson's doing an excellent job on the boards, both offensively and defensively. And the way the stats are showing up and the way the score is, you got to emphasize the offensive end of the boards.
Brownfield, only a freshman, handling the ball for Minnetonka. Long shot, won't go. Daniels almost controls. Minnetonka follows that, won't go, and Daniels finally comes down with it.
The one thing that's impressing me with this Minnetonka team is Brownfield being a freshman out here. He's got an excellent future in the high school league.
Daniels, 55 seconds to go for Larson, far side. Back for Don Cabbage. Don Cabbage working against Aspelin. Back for Larson now, for Daniels. Daniels, that won't go, and DeCourcy was over the back. That'll put Aspelin at the line shooting.
Brownfield's going to come out of the game at this point.
That's DeCourcy's first foul of the game. Rather, Peter Kelly will be at the line for the Minnetonka Skippers, shooting 1-1. Kelly, 6'6", only a sophomore. Rich Mast, the starter's only a sophomore. There might be a future for these Tonka Skippers as Larson comes down with the errant free throw. 36 seconds to go. Jaguars lead 64-32.
Both teams going to put in their last couple of subs now.
Daniels for DeCourcy. DeCourcy thought about it, leaves it for Jasper. Jasper with the running one-hander for two. Tom Jasper, it's 66-32. They're ahead by 34.
32,
34, yes, that is. Mosley thought about it, leaves it for Hagan. Hagan with 11 seconds on the clock. Dekorski comes down with the rebound, loses it. Mosley cleans up. Play is getting sloppy now as Jasper battles for it, gets it up for it, and that's the end of the game with the final score. The Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars, the 34-point winners in this 6AA quarterfinal match. 66-32 over the Minnetonka Skippers. You've been watching 6AA quarterfinal basketball on BEC. We'll be back with victorious coach Jack Evans after this.
Hi, I'm Tom Roloff, the host of Time Out, your weekly Bloomington sports TV show. Time Out is seen live every Wednesday on BEC-TV at 7:30 p.m. and replayed several times during the week thereafter. Time Out features sports teams from Jefferson, Kennedy, and Normandale with special interviews with players and coaches. We also have a weekly Team of the Week, special features, and scores and highlights from the previous week. Please join us on BEC-TV for Time Out, the best in Bloomington TV sports.
We're back at Jefferson High School Gymnasium where the Jaguars have just defeated the Minnetonka Skippers 66-32. We're fortunate enough to have Gopher assistant coach Milton Barnes with us. Well, Coach Barnes, what players were you looking at other than Kevin Lynch?
Well, basically I just came in to see Kevin. But Minnetonka has a big kid over there that's a pretty good player. And a guy that may need a little extra time to develop, but he's got good potential. And but Kevin's the main guy I came in to see play today.
I know Schick and Jansky came on the second half of the season. Are the Gophers hurting for a big man, or they hope Schick and Jansky can fill the bill?
Well, we think Jim will eventually be able to fill the bill. Big Ten is a tough conference, and it takes some time to get ready to play Big Ten basketball, particularly for a freshman. But I think Jim's got great potential, and I think he's going to be able to help us quite a bit.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, who do you feel is going to be in the NCAA Final Four? I know there's 5 Big Ten teams still alive.
Well, I tell you, I'm picking Indiana and Iowa to be 2 of the 4 final teams, and North Carolina and Georgetown will be the other 2.
All right, well, hey, thanks a lot, Coach Barnes, for stopping by. Coach Barnes of the Minnesota Gophers. We also have Jake Lynch, the assistant coach of the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. Hi, Coach Lynch. Well, the Jaguars, they've won 29 straight games now. Did you feel offensive rebounding was the key to their success this afternoon?
Yeah, we rebounded pretty well. They tested us very well, though, too. They had good boundaries on the floor. It's an excellent rebounding Minnetonka team. But the first half, I did see the stat sheet, and we got our share of all rebounds in that one because we didn't hit the outside shot so well today.
I think we had 19 offensive rebounds for the game for the Jaguars.
We had at least about 10 of them, a dozen of them at halftime, I think. We did pretty well in the first half because I think our team shooting percentage in the first half was really average to poor. We got the inside bucket, which raised it a little bit more.
Do you have any thoughts on our next game here, the St. Louis Park Orioles and the Kennedy Eagles? St. Louis Park has a lot of height with Dave Peterson and another 6'8" player.
Well, they're both excellent teams, and I'll be surprised if it's not a 1 or 2 point ball game or something like that developing here because they're both good teams. I think our region is as balanced and is as strong as it's ever been. And legitimate quarterfinal games like this next one coming up, you got Armstrong going at Wayzata right now. You've got Richfield going against Edina. Those are all excellent basketball teams. So whoever comes out of this region is going to be a well-earned champion, I'll tell you.
Oh, I know 6 of the 20 top teams in the state are out of Region 6AA.
Yeah, and I think I saw the St. Paul paper the other day. They list only a top 10, and 5 of them are from our region. So it's a very, very honest region this year.
It seemed the Jaguars were pushing the ball up more. Is that maybe Coach Evans sort of took the wraps off them today and said play a little more aggressive?
Not really. You just really try to react to what happens on the floor. And they were putting 4 guys on the offensive boards all the time. And that makes it difficult to get the ball off the defensive backboard, but when you do, you probably got 2-on-1s coming up.
Okay, well, hey, good luck, Coach Lynch, Tuesday night.
Thank you.
Coach Jake Lynch of the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. That final score here from Jefferson High School Gymnasium is the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars 66, the Minnetonka Skippers 32. I'm Shane Steinhardt, and for my colleague Tony Gear, you've been watching Jefferson Basketball on BEC Channel 17D.